Nahash the Ammonite answered them, On this condition will I make a covenant with you, that I may thrust out all your right eyes, and lay it for a reproach upon all Israel. And the elders of Jabesh said unto him, Give us 7 days' respite, that we may send messengers unto all the coasts of Israel, and then, if there be no man to save us, we will come out to thee. Then came the messengers to Gibeah of Saul, and told the tidings in the ears of the people, and all the people lifted up their voices and wept. Behold, Saul came after the herd out of the field, and Saul said, What aileth the people that they weep? They told him the tidings of the men of Jabesh. The Spirit of God came upon Saul when he heard those tidings, and his anger was kindled greatly. And he took a yoke of oxen, and hewed them in pieces, and sent them throughout all the coasts of Israel by the hands of messengers, saying, Whosoever cometh not forth after Saul and after Samuel, so shall it be done unto his oxen. The fear of the Lord fell on the people. They came out with one consent. When he numbered them in Bezek, the children of Israel were 300,000, and the men of Judah 30,000. And they said unto the messengers that came, Thus shall ye say unto the men of Jabesh Gilead, Tomorrow, by that time the sun be hot, ye shall have help. The messengers came and showed it to the men of Jabesh, and they were glad. Therefore the men of Jabesh said, Tomorrow we will come out unto you, and ye shall do with us all that seemeth good unto you. So on the morrow that Saul put the people in 3 companies, and they came into the midst of the host in the morning watch, and slew the Ammonites until the heat of the day. And it came to pass that they which remained were scattered, so that 2 of them were not left together. And the people said unto Samuel, Who is he that said, Shall Saul reign over us? Bring the men, that we may put them to death. And Saul said, There shall not a man be put to death this day, for today the Lord hath wrought salvation in Israel. Then said Samuel to the people, Come and let us go to Gilgal and renew the kingdom there. And all the people went to Gilgal. And there they made Saul king before the Lord in Gilgal. And there they sacrificed sacrifices of peace offerings before the Lord. And there Saul and all the men of Israel rejoiced greatly. Chapter 12. And Samuel said unto all Israel, Behold, I have hearkened unto your voice in all that ye said unto me, and have made a king over you. And now, behold, the king walketh before you. And I am old and grey-headed, and behold, my sons are with you. And I have walked before you from my childhood unto this day. Behold, here I am. Witness against me before the Lord and before his anointed. Whose ox have I taken? Or whose ass have I taken? Or whom have I defrauded? Whom have I oppressed? Or of whose hand have I received any bribe to blind mine eyes therewith? And I will restore it you. And they said, Thou hast not defrauded us, nor oppressed us, neither hast thou taken aught of any man's hand. And he said unto them, The Lord is witness against you, and his anointed is witness this day, that ye have not found aught in my hand. They answered, He is witness. And Samuel said unto the people, It is the Lord that advanced Moses and Aaron, and that brought your fathers up out of the land of Egypt. Now therefore stand still, that I may reason with you before the Lord of all the righteous acts of the Lord which he did to you and to your fathers. When Jacob was come into Egypt, and your fathers cried unto the Lord, then the Lord sent Moses and Aaron, which brought forth your fathers out of Egypt, and made them dwell in this place. And when they forgat the Lord their God, he sold them into the hand of Sisera, captain of the host of Hazor, and into the hand of the Philistines, and into the hand of the king of Moab, and they fought against them. And they cried unto the Lord, and said, We have sinned, because we have forsaken the Lord, and have served Baalim and Ashtaroth. But now deliver us out of the hand of our enemies, and we will serve thee. And the Lord sent Jerubbaal, and Bedan, and Jephthah, and Samuel, and delivered you out of the hand of your enemies on every side, and ye dwelled safe. And when ye saw that Nahash, the king of the children of Ammon, came against you, he said unto me, Nay, but a king shall reign over us. And the Lord your God was your king. Now therefore, behold the king whom ye have chosen, and whom ye have desired. And behold, the Lord hath set a king over you. If ye will fear the Lord, and serve him, and obey his voice, and not rebel against the commandment of the Lord, then shall both ye and also the king that reigneth over you continue following the Lord your God. But if ye will not obey the voice of the Lord, but rebel against the commandment of the Lord, then shall the hand of the Lord be against you, as it was against your fathers. Now therefore, stand and see this great thing which the Lord will do before your eyes. Is it not wheat harvest today? I will call unto the Lord, and he shall send thunder and rain, that ye may perceive and see that your wickedness is great, which ye have done in the sight of the Lord in asking you a king. So Samuel called unto the Lord, and the Lord sent thunder and rain that day, and all the people greatly feared the Lord and Samuel. And all the people said unto Samuel, Pray for thy servants unto the Lord thy God, that we die not. For we have added unto all our sins this evil, to ask us a king. And Samuel said unto the people, Fear not, ye have done all this wickedness. Yet turn not aside from following the Lord, but serve the Lord with all your heart, and turn ye not aside. For then should ye go after vain things, which cannot profit nor deliver, for they are vain. For the Lord will not forsake his people for his great name's sake, because it hath pleased the Lord to make you his people. Moreover, as for me, God forbid that I should sin against the Lord in ceasing to pray for you. But I will teach you the good and the right way. Only fear the Lord, and serve him in truth with all your heart. For consider how great things he hath done for you. But if ye shall still do wickedly, ye shall be consumed, both ye and your king. Chapter 13. Saul reigned 1 year, and when he had reigned 2 years over Israel, Saul chose him 3,000 men of Israel, whereof 2,000 were with Saul in Michmash and in Mount Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan in Gibeah of Benjamin, and the rest of the people he sent every man to his tent. And Jonathan smote the garrison of the Philistines that was in Geba, and the Philistines heard of it. And Saul blew the trumpet throughout all the land, saying, Let the Hebrews hear. And all Israel heard say that Saul had smitten the garrison of the Philistines, and that Israel also was had an abomination with the Philistines. And the people were called together after Saul to Gilgal. And the Philistines gathered themselves together to fight with Israel, 30,000 chariots and 6,000 horsemen, and people as the sand which is on the seashore in multitude. And they came up and pitched in Michmash, eastward from Bethaven. When the men of Israel saw that they were in a strait, for the people were distressed, then the people did hide themselves in caves and in thickets, and in rocks and in high places, and in pits. And some of the Hebrews went over Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling. And he tarried 7 days, according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. And Saul said, Bring hither a burnt offering to me, and peace offerings. And he offered the burnt offering. And it came to pass that as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came. And Saul went out to meet him, that he might salute him. And Samuel said, What hast thou done? And Saul said, Because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that thou camest not within the days appointed, and that the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash. Therefore, said I, the Philistines will come down now upon me to Gilgal, and I have not made supplication unto the Lord. I forced myself, therefore, and offered a burnt offering. And Samuel said to Saul, Thou hast done foolishly. Thou hast not kept the commandment of the Lord thy God, which he commanded thee. For now would the Lord have established thy kingdom upon Israel forever. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. The Lord hath sought him a man after his own heart, and the Lord hath commanded him to be captain over his people, because thou hast not kept that which the Lord commanded thee. And Samuel arose, and gat him up from Gilgal unto Gibeah of Benjamin. And Saul numbered the people that were present with him, about 600 men. And Saul and Jonathan his son, and the people that were present with them, abode in Gibeah of Benjamin, but the Philistines encamped in Michmash. And the spoilers came out of the camp of the Philistines in 3 companies. One company turned unto the way that leadeth to Ophrah, unto the land of Shual. And another company turned the way to Beth-horon. And another company turned to the way of the border that looketh to the valley of Zeboim, toward the wilderness. Now there was no smith found throughout all the land of Israel. For the Philistines said, Lest the Hebrews make them swords or spears. But all the Israelites went down to the Philistines, to sharpen every man his share, and his coulter, and his axe, and his mattock. Yet they had a file for the mattocks, and for the coulters, and for the forks, and for the axes, and to sharpen the goads. So it came to pass in the day of battle, that there was neither sword nor spear found in the hand of any of the people that were with Saul and Jonathan. But with Saul and with Jonathan his son was there found. And the garrison of the Philistines went out to the passage of Michmash. Chapter 14. Now it came to pass upon a day that Jonathan the son of Saul said unto the young man that bare his armor, Come, and let us go over to the Philistines' garrison that is on the other side. But he told not his father. And Saul tarried in the uttermost part of Gibeah under a pomegranate tree which is in Migron. And the people that were with him were about 600 men. And Ahiah, the son of Ahitub, Ichabod's brother, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eli, the Lord's priest in Shiloh, wearing an ephod. And the people knew not that Jonathan was gone. And between the passages by which Jonathan sought to go over unto the Philistines' garrison, there was a sharp rock on the one side, and a sharp rock on the other side. And the name of the one was Bozez, and the name of the other Seni. The forefront of the one was situate northward, over against Michmash, and the other southward, over against Gibeah. And Jonathan said to the young man that bare his armor, Come, and let us go over unto the garrison of these uncircumcised. It may be that the Lord will work for us, for there is no restraint to the Lord to save by many or by few. And his armor-bearer said unto him, Do all that is in thine heart. Turn thee, behold, I am with thee according to thy heart. Then said Jonathan, Behold, we will pass over unto these men, and we will discover ourselves unto them. If they say thus unto us, Tarry until we come to you, then we will stand still in our place, and will not go up unto them. But if they say thus, Come up unto us, then we will go up, for the Lord hath delivered them into our hand, and this shall be a sign unto us. And both of them discovered themselves unto the garrison of the Philistines. And the Philistines said, Behold, the Hebrews come forth out of the holes where they had hidden themselves. And the men of the garrison answered Jonathan and his armor-bearer, and said, Come up to us, and we will show you a thing. And Jonathan said unto his armor-bearer, Come up after me, for the Lord hath delivered them into the hand of Israel. And Jonathan climbed up upon his hands and upon his feet, and his armor-bearer after him, and they fell before Jonathan, and his armor-bearer slew after him. And that first slaughter which Jonathan and his armor-bearer made was about 20 men, within as it were an half acre of land, which a yoke of oxen might plow. And there was trembling in the host, in the field, and among all the people. The garrison and the spoilers, they also trembled, and the earth quaked. So it was a very great trembling. And the watchmen of Saul and Gibeah of Benjamin looked, and behold, the multitude melted away, and they went on beating down one another. Then said Saul unto the people that were with him, Number now, and see who is gone from us. And when they had numbered, behold, Jonathan and his armor-bearer were not there. And Saul said unto Ahiah, Bring hither the ark of God. For the ark of God was at that time with the children of Israel. And it came to pass, while Saul talked unto the priest, that the noise that was in the host of the Philistines went on and increased. And Saul said unto the priest, Withdraw thine hand. And Saul and all the people that were with him assembled themselves, and they came to the battle. And behold, every man's sword was against his fellow, and there was a very great discomfiture. Moreover, the Hebrews that were with the Philistines before that time, which went up with them into the camp from the country round about, even they also turned to be with the Israelites that were with Saul and Jonathan. Likewise, all the men of Israel which had hid themselves in Mount Ephraim, when they heard that the Philistines fled, even they also followed hard after them in the battle. So the Lord saved Israel that day, and the battle passed over unto Bethaven. And the men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had adjured the people, saying, Cursed be the man that eateth any food until evening, that I may be avenged on mine enemies. So none of the people tasted any food. And all they of the land came to a wood, and there was honey upon the ground. And when the people were come into the wood, behold, the honey dropped. But no man put his hand to his mouth, for the people feared the oath. But Jonathan heard not when his father charged the people with the oath. Wherefore he put forth the end of the rod that was in his hand, and dipped it in an honeycomb, and put his hand to his mouth, and his eyes were enlightened. Then answered one of the people, and said, Thy father straitly charged the people with an oath, saying, Cursed be the man that eateth any food this day. And the people were faint. Then said Jonathan, My father hath troubled the land. See, I pray you, how mine eyes have been enlightened, because I tasted a little of this honey. How much more, if haply the people had eaten freely today of the spoil of their enemies which they found? For had there not been now a much greater slaughter among the Philistines? And they smote the Philistines that day from Michmash to Aijalon, and the people were very faint. And the people flew upon the spoil, and took sheep and oxen and calves, and slew them on the ground. And the people did eat them with the blood. Then they told Saul, saying, Behold, the people sin against the Lord, in that they eat with the blood. And he said, Ye have transgressed. Roll a great stone unto me this day. And Saul said, Disperse yourselves among the people, and say unto them, Bring me hither every man his ox, and every man his sheep, and slay them here, and eat, and sin not against the Lord in eating with the blood. And all the people brought every man his ox with him that night, and slew them there. And Saul built an altar unto the Lord. The same was the first altar that he built unto the Lord. And Saul said, Let us go down after the Philistines by night, and spoil them until the morning light, and let us not leave a man of them. And they said, Do whatsoever seemeth good unto thee. Then said the priest, Let us draw near hither unto God. And Saul asked counsel of God, Shall I go down after the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into the hand of Israel? But he answered him not that day. And Saul said, Draw ye near hither, all the chief of the people, and know and see wherein this sin hath been this day. For as the Lord liveth, which saveth Israel, though it be in Jonathan my son, he shall surely die. But there was not a man among all the people that answered him. Then said he unto all Israel, Be ye on one side, and I and Jonathan my son will be on the other side. And the people said unto Saul, Do what seemeth good unto thee. Therefore Saul said unto the Lord God of Israel, Give a perfect lot. And Saul and Jonathan were taken, but the people escaped. And Saul said, Cast lots between me and Jonathan my son. And Jonathan was taken. Then Saul said to Jonathan, Tell me what thou hast done. And Jonathan told him and said, I did but taste a little honey with the end of the rod that was in mine hand, and lo, I must die. And Saul answered, God do so, and more also, for thou shalt surely die, Jonathan. And the people said unto Saul, Shall Jonathan die, who hath wrought this great salvation in Israel? God forbid. As the Lord liveth, there shall not one hair of his head fall to the ground, for he hath wrought with God this day. So the people rescued Jonathan, that he died not. Then Saul went up from following the Philistines, and the Philistines went to their own place. So Saul took the kingdom over Israel, and fought against all his enemies on every side, against Moab, and against the children of Ammon, and against Edom, and against the kings of Zobah, and against the Philistines. And whithersoever he turned himself, he vexed them. And he gathered an host, and smote the Amalekites, and delivered Israel out of the hands of them that spoiled them. Now the sons of Saul were Jonathan, and Ishuai, and Melchishua, and the names of his two daughters were these, the name of the firstborn Medab, and the name of the younger Michal. And the name of Saul's wife was Ahinoam, the daughter of Ahimaaz, and the name of the captain of his host was Abner, the son of Ner, Saul's uncle. And Kish was the father of Saul, and Ner, the father of Abner, was the son of Abiel. And there was sore war against the Philistines all the days of Saul. And when Saul saw any strong man, or any valiant man, he took him unto him. Chapter 15. Samuel also said unto Saul, The Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. And Saul gathered the people together, and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 footmen, and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to a city of Amalek, and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Kenites, Go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag. and the best of the sheep and of the oxen, and of the fatlings and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was vile and refuse, that they destroyed utterly. Then came the word of the Lord unto Samuel, saying, It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he is turned back from following me, and hath not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto the Lord all night. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of the Lord, I have performed the commandment of the Lord. And Samuel said, What meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in mine ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. And Samuel said unto Saul, Stay, and I will tell thee what the Lord hath said to me this night. And he said unto him, Say on. Samuel said, When thou wast little in thine own sight, wast thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel, and the Lord anointed thee king over Israel? And the Lord sent thee on a journey, and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed? Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Lord? And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God in Gilgal. Samuel said, Hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee from being king. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord of thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. Now therefore I pray thee, pardon my sin, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Lord. Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord hath rejected thee from being king over Israel. And as Samuel turned about to go away, he laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle, and it rent. Samuel said unto him, The Lord hath rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and hath given it to a neighbor of thine that is better than thou. And also the strength of Israel will not lie nor repent, for he is not a man that he should repent. Then he said, I have sinned. Yet honor me now, I pray thee, before the elders of my people and before Israel, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Lord thy God. So Samuel turned again after Saul, and Saul worshipped the Lord. Then said Samuel, Bring ye hither to me Agag the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came unto him delicately, and Agag said, Surely the bitterness of death is past. And Samuel said, As thy sword hath made women childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before the Lord in Gilgal. Then Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house to Gibeah of Saul. And Samuel came no more to see Saul until the day of his death. Nevertheless, Samuel mourned for Saul, and the Lord repented that he had made Saul king over Israel. Chapter 16. And the Lord
All right, so if anybody wants to join the chat, now's the time. We've done the reading for 11 through 15, and now we're going to do the commentary on each chapter. So I have the link, the comment section. I'll go ahead and pin it. Well, I shouldn't. Probably I'll just show it on the screen. That way you can go to the top of the comment section and click that link to join. There we go. It's pinned now. So chapter 11. Saul is getting a lot of respect now from all the people. He's got this huge army, and despite the fact that they won this victory against their enemies, he still won't destroy the sons of Belial that are like mocking him. Okay, so they mocked him in the past, and he said, "Let's hold our peace because it's a time of rejoicing." Uh, and then they come up again after they win this battle. Somebody in the camp, is like, "Hey, let's find those guys that were mocking you and let's go kill them." And then Saul still chooses to hold his peace because they just won a battle. And so again, it's a time of rejoicing. Saul is making good decisions. But what we see in this in these passages in 11 through 16 in these chapters, or 11 through 15, is that Saul is rapidly declining. And he starts out good and he's getting a lot of respect, making good decisions, and he starts making not only bad decisions but major mistakes, okay, that actually cost him the kingdom. So what's going on in the chat? Iger has said he's going to join in a couple of minutes. So the show's really gonna come alive in a couple of minutes. We got Iger TV coming on. There's no telling. We could be debating flat Earth in the next 10 minutes. You never know where these after shows are gonna go. That's why they're an after show, because it's kind of like after you did the Netflix and chill thing with your woman, or you've already scrolled through all of HBO Max, or Discovery Channel, Disney Plus, what have you. You're gonna end up here when you're trying to go to sleep. Just put something on your phone or whatever at 2 in the morning, and so here we are. And usually it is some mind-boggling stuff, head-spinning controversy. So I appreciate anybody that tunes in, and also anybody that wants to join the stream and participate in this commentary. Iger, we'll see you in a couple minutes whenever you get on here. I'm going to continue. You got chapter 12, where Samuel the prophet's ministry is nearing its end. So it's kind of what that chapter is about. And then also Israel is commonly worshiping satanic idols at this time. So, despite the fact you got Saul, he's the king, you got the great, prophet Samuel, he's getting really old, and both those people and they're godly people, except you still have these other people within the nation that are worshiping these false idols. So what's going on? Why isn't anybody hammering down? And so they're commonly worshiping these false idols. Also in chapter 12, Israel repents of refusing the judges system in fear of a great thunderstorm that Samuel the prophet sins. He prays to God and sends a thunderstorm of rain and loud thunder, and it actually causes the people to fear so much that they say, we're really sorry for what we did, by asking us a king. Even though we love the king and we like the system and everything's kind of going great, despite the fact there's still, these wicked sons of Belial running around, which we would today call, psychopaths. But despite that, everything's going great. But because of this thunderstorm, we're afraid we'll probably die because we've actually transgressed God. He said that he didn't want us to do it, and we went ahead and did it anyways. And so this is where God is physically showing up, and he's giving them an awakening, and also a story in the Bible that we can read and learn from. So they wanted a king, and God had established judges, which are kind of like kings. They judge the people, in civil matters that are too great for, their individual parties to handle themselves. But uh, it's more of a prophet sent from God, in every case of the judges, some great prophet, that preaches and teaches the word of God and also judges the people. So instead of that, they just wanted like a mortal man that could be great and they could like deify him or something, not really caring about whether or not he was a man of God, but just if he's tall and he's strong, and he has military agenda and a skill set that's going to be able to allow us to defeat our enemies and relieve oppression and succeed, well then that's great. But now they're saying, that was a bad mistake. We should have stayed under the judges. We should have had people that are actually appointed by God that serve God. uh, so they're repenting of that in chapter 12 and chapter 13. Saul's enemies they actually hid themselves under rocks. So the battle, Saul, he's got his army, and they're beating these guys so bad that they're actually running and hiding under rocks. And it says that they're falling into like slime pits, like just trying to escape. And that's what the Bible says will happen at the Battle of Armageddon in the book of Revelation, when it says that the armies of the Antichrist and the false prophet are gathered to one place. They will actually be fighting, I believe, great uh, other armies that oppose the Antichrist that will still be alive at that time. Because even though these other armies aren't serving Jesus. They're probably like some pagan nation, maybe China or Russia or something like that. Uh, I'm just throwing names out there, but just some foreign nation, that bands together and they are no necessarily worship God, but they don't want to give up their pride, and just convert to this religious system that the Antichrist has established. So they're going to basically make war, and then you also have these, lion-headed horses that come out from hell. They will participate in this battle of Armageddon, and at that time, it says that they're going to, when the Lord shows up, they're going to hide themselves under the rocks, and so they're going to flee at a certain point in this battle when the large hailstones probably and the locusts from hell and these lion-headed horses show up. They're all just going to try to get out of Dodge as fast as they can. And, there's going to be hailstones of fire crashing on them. They're going to go under the rocks. And the Bible says that they'll pray to God that he would let the rocks, or they'll pray to the rocks to fall on them, to just avoid them having to actually face God. And that's a lot of people's problem, is they don't want to face God, not necessarily that they don't want to get hit from a hailstone, you know, they just don't want to have to look up into the sky and see God's anger upon them, because it reminds them that they have refused to let go of their pride, to serve him. They want to deify themselves. And that was the first lie in the Garden of Eden. Ye shall be as God. So let's get Iger TV on here.
Hey, what's up, my man? Can't say hi to you real quick. SFT just has started a stream, and I was kind of getting into it because I like Kevin and I like standing for truth, And
They got one going on right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be the topic is reprobate. So
okay, yeah, we need to go over there.
No, but I was just watching, but then I said, "Oh crap, Chris is live," because I was keeping an eye on your stream, bro, because I thought it was at 1:30, and I was like, 3 p.m. I mean 3 a.m. pretty much for me. So I was like, "Oh man, let me go say hi to Chris real quick."
Yeah, I definitely want to hop over there.
I like the. You want to snipe it, man? I never sniped the stream before.
Oh, can we do that?
Yeah, you can do that for sure. I shared some SFT's videos before. I gotta show you how to download the videos, bro. Like I'll be sharing debates, like the debates I like, my favorite debates, and the debates I've been on myself. If I did a debate on Modern Day Debate and on Praise That I Am channel, then you can download them and just share them. But I didn't see your notification. But honestly, I kind of had thought you might have fell asleep because it was like an hour later and you still weren't live. So I thought maybe you fell asleep. I didn't even notice a window Like I didn't notice a window when I went to check on your channel. I didn't notice a window for your upcoming live stream.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, actually, I do know. If you go to customize channel, you could set up your front page, and then so whenever you're live, you could set that tab up to the top. That way, people see it that you have a live stream coming up, and
Hmm.
also when you're live, people see that you're live. If not, they don't notice it when you're on YouTube. But
Yeah, I got that on the homepage.
you do, you got it with your okay, good. I don't know why. Like I checked at 1:30. I was like, crap, Chris is supposed to be live right now. And then I checked and then I didn't see you and I was like something didn't feel right. I don't
I don't know if I actually should go over to the reprobate discussion. I might say something about homos that just does not do the channel very well. So
know.
I mean, I'm not going to get on there and then not say something about it. So it's best I probably stay out of that one.
I think they're somehow it's more we should snipe it, but I, I don't know. I was just starting to watch the opening statement of Kevin basically when I saw you were live,
Yeah.
and then I started listening to the last bit of Samuel that you were sharing. But it seems like it's gonna turn into basically like once saved always saved versus, even though they're both once saved always saved, but I guess there's like different degrees or something. I don't know, bro. This
Yeah,
whole
but Donnie, I'm pretty sure that he's like new IFB, so he believes in reprobates, you know. He probably even believes that homos are reprobates, but he's not going to like say it. Just to avoid getting his channel obliterated, he won't say anything about that stuff. Uh, but yeah,
all right,
the
bro. All right.
reprobates. I'm
I
staying
could
out of that
I
topic.
went way off topic with all what I just brought up, but honestly, I kind of missed most of what you read. So
Yeah. So I'll get you caught up on Samuel. What is this? First Samuel. We're in chapter 13. So I was describing how this battle, how they went and hid themselves under the rocks, was like symbolic of the Battle of Armageddon. And then we'll see another scenario like a battle in the future chapters where this kind of happens again, where they actually end up fighting themselves. The the confusion becomes so great that they're just like fighting against themselves.
I feel like we're kind of getting there right now with just the strife that goes on between a lot of different people here in America. There's so much division in the United States right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So I
Yeah,
feel like
there's
we're
a
getting
sermon
there,
in there somewhere.
huh?
There's a sermon in there somewhere. That's good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of division going on right now in America, bro. It's you know, even within your family, you could have a different opinion on Trump per se. Like some people think he's great, some people think he's the devil, and when you got when you got Biden to compare him to, like he seems great for sure compared to Biden, but
Who's totally not Bond? I've not seen him. Maybe he hangs out on SFT or something.
yeah,
Good to see you.
he's been
I see
around for a
those
while,
eyes.
bro. He's
I'm looking at you, looking at me, looking at you.
check this out, bro. Matt Bond. At first, I thought I don't know. I met him on Prace's channel a long time ago, 2 years, 3 years ago, and then he changed to his name to Illuminati, and now he's totally not Bond. But yeah, he's been around for a long time. I'm not sure what his position is. When I first met him, he was an atheist. Then for a little bit there, he was a Christian. So I'm not sure, Bond. What's your position now? And are you still in Texas? I kind of put a comment on FST chat that I was coming over here, so maybe you get a couple
Peter
views.
says Armageddon is the day of the Lord, and we're waiting for the day of Christ. Now, I'm gonna have to disagree with that because those are two different things. The day of the Lord is when the sun and the moon go dark. This is before the the opening of or the pouring of the first vial or the sounding of the first trumpet, basically the first uh, plague of God's wrath that falls on the earth. That happens directly after the sun and the moon go dark. So that's the day of the Lord when that happens. The Bible's very clear on the sign of when the day of the Lord is, sun and the moon going dark. So you don't have, until you get to the seventh
I kind of
plague,
think like
God's wrath,
I
you
kind of
don't
think like
have
he's
the
saying the
Battle of
same thing.
Armageddon. So you can look that up in the book of Revelation, and it's not happening until after the plagues of God's wrath.
I kind of feel like Peter kind of said the same thing, bro. Like, if you read the comment again, maybe I kind of feel like Armageddon is the day of the Lord, and we are waiting for the day of Christ, which will be like Christ's return, I guess. Oh, well, you're saying the day of the Lord is Christ's return, actually, and Armageddon is something else.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
closer to my views. I'm still on the fence on whether the rapture is like at the seventh trumpet. I think there's convincing evidence for that, but that would put it after the wrath of God. I'm willing to compromise and say, with agree with most, fellow minded like preachers that I respect. They hold the view that the day of the Lord is the rapture. So I'm perfectly fine with that. I think there's really good evidence for that. All right. So also in chapter 13, Saul makes himself a high priest, basically offers a sacrifice, and he was supposed to wait for Samuel the prophet. Like he's ordained to basically order the priests to make the sacrifice, and Saul is not supposed to have anything to do with that. He's a king. He's a military leader. He's not a part of the priests. So he's like, we're not waiting for Samuel to get here. I'm just going to offer it myself. And that was the first time where God basically tells him, this is not going to work out. You're not going to be king. And then he tells him more directly and specifically later on. Chapter 14, Jonathan wins a battle and the enemies begin fighting each other. So we kind of already discussed that. That's also what's going to happen on Armageddon, which is post wrath of God. It's the very last plague of God's wrath. It's the final battle. And then 1,000 years later, after the millennial reign of Christ, you'll have the battle of Gog and Magog. I know that Peter is like pre-driven that conflicts with his models, but that's okay because this is just like fun here. As long as Peter knows how to be saved, which I assume he does if he listens to enough SFT and Matt Powell, like-minded creationists, they have the gospel, so I'm sure he's heard it. And as long as we're straight on that, though, we can't really be led too far astray into division. We don't want to, like, as the Bible says, bite and devour one another. We want to try to see if we can grow from our differences. So
I
I
like
say,
that. I like that,
all of what
Chris.
I say and teach out of respect for other people.
Yeah, because I don't agree with you like on the geocentric, heliocentric stuff, and I probably disagree. We have little disagreements on whatever, and yeah, man, I don't go out of my way to try to like just like, man, I don't know these Christians. Some of these Christians all just go out there and make a whole video about you and call you all kinds of names, and they won't go after like Bill Gates or somebody like that that's obviously doing something evil, but they'll pick on like little Christian YouTubers. It doesn't make any sense to me, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I think we lost Bond.
Oh, that's fine. He'll be back.
Yeah, maybe.
Now,
Maybe he'll be back next time.
Saul in where are we at? Chapter 14. he makes this like fasting law for like no particular reason. I guess he thinks that it's going to bless him spiritually, even though he's been told by God that you just made a major mistake by basically setting yourself up as like a Levite, and participating in the ceremonial rituals. Like, that's not how this goes, and never has gone that way. People that have made the mistake of doing that have died in the past before. So it's like you're supposed to be the king, and here you are. Now, after he makes that major mistake, he goes right into another mistake. So this is what I'm talking about, the rapid decline of this king. Like, he starts out great. He gets saved, actually. Saul's saved. He's in heaven today. But he made some like huge mistakes, and that goes to testify to every Christian that you are capable of some very great wicked things that you don't even know that you're capable of. So don't try to boast yourself up higher than you should, exalt yourself in your mind higher than you ought. And understand that you're human. People that are saved don't always look saved. They don't have a lot of evidence for their salvation because they're not living a very good life. But because of God's grace, it's not going to throw one of his children into the lake of fire. So you can thank God for that if you're saved. Now, Saul, here's his second mistake. He makes a stupid law where it's like you can't eat anything. As we're fighting this huge battle, and it's going to take us probably, maybe even weeks, it's like you can't eat anything in the process of us journeying and fighting these people and then gathering the supplies and moving on to the next location. Can't eat. So they actually got to the point where they were starving and started eating beasts. They would kill the beast and then just eat it with the blood, it says. So they just cut them open and basically go at it like a lion. They got so hungry. And uh, that's what the Bible says. I didn't write it. These starving people that were actually God's army were so hungry that they just went into a whole, company of, like, I don't know how you say that, herd of cattle, okay, with sheep and ox and all kinds of animals, just this huge ranch. And they killed these animals and ate them probably where they were standing, okay? They just killed them. And they tipped that cow, stabbed it, and then started ripping pieces off of it, either with their knife or with their teeth. And that's what the Bible teaches. So that was a stupid thing for Saul to do because it caused them to starve. You don't want to starve your people like in any conquest. This is like the problem with tyrannical leaders, communist countries and, Soviet style government is they get this mentality where, I've already said it. I've already told them to do something stupid that's not going to work out. But because of my pride, I'm not going to let it go. I'm not going to say, I'm sorry. We're just going to like go through with this because I've already, it's like, I don't know. It doesn't matter what it costs the people as long as they're still in charge and people are willing to respect it. They just kind of take advantage of that. It's an abuse of power. That's what happens. So that's what's happening to King Saul. He's becoming abusive with his power. First, he sets himself up basically as high priest, and now he's going to starve his people just based on his pride. And then an unreasonable and unjust death penalty is attempted on his own son. He tells his son, because you let the people eat a little bit of honey while they were starving, and you didn't even know about the whole oath thing. You were unaware of the law that I passed. You went ahead and ate some honey. You offered it to them who knew about it, and then they all ate, and so uh, and then they told you afterwards, and you still continue to allow them to eat at least the honey. They end up starving anyways and eating those wild beasts. But uh, the point is that because his son had did this, now Saul actually wants to enforce the death penalty and kill Jonathan because he transgressed against that law that almost got the whole company, the whole army killed. It's insane. So he's going, he's going to lose his mind here. But the people actually end up stopping him. They're like, I don't, like you're the king, yeah, but that's the guy that just won the battle for us. So we're not going to kill him over giving us some honey, despite whatever oath that you may have made. So people kind of take charge, and the true power of government always is with the people, as long as you can avoid the propaganda and the military power. I guess there's a lot that the people can do, even in a communist style government, but of course, resources and money are needed to make any kind of movement. Nothing's free in the world.
Man, I
But
feel like if we all just refuse to like work for the government, we'll be fine. But people want to join the government agencies, and it's all for money, bro. It's the love of money at the
yeah,
end of the day. Satan's trying
this
to tempt everybody to do something evil.
bubblegum gun. This guy's lost his mind. I think he was on Nephilim Free the other night. I don't know because it's called Corporate Bubble or something on. I don't know if it's like another channel that he uses, but I don't know. It's the same anime character, so I'm assuming it's the same person. This is Corporate, Bubblegum Gun. He's apparently a gamer, so shout out Bubblegum Gun. Appreciate you being here. I think you have some wild ideas though about dog speciation. Maybe Iger can relate to you because I actually was wanting to ask you, Iger, what do you think? Could it be a conspiracy? That modern dogs such as pugs and chihuahuas have actually been created by God instead of actually like artificially created by selective breeding. You think that they're a separate creation?
Man, some of them like you know how they say well, to think that everything evolved from a wolf. I don't know, bro. And I don't have like I haven't done any research into this. I'm just thinking critically. Before the flood, there might have been, he might have took a wolf, a coyote, and a fox. Like they didn't all this. They might have already been there. Uh, so so yeah, man. I'm just saying. Because I hold to the young Earth creationist view, where everything that went in the flow was the two animals. Um, It could have been that he took some foxes, a pair of foxes, a pair. Maybe they were already around before the flood.
Well, he's saying like pugs and chihuahuas.
That they were already around. I don't know. I think if you do some research into that, I know like there's definitely a lot of breeds that have came about through breeding, different genetic traits per se. But to say that everything came from a wolf, um, I don't necessarily hold to that. I think maybe there was already foxes at creation, and maybe there was already hyenas and lions, and I don't think necessarily they all had to evolve from the same animal. I think we don't know, we weren't there, but I think maybe there was already foxes around, and there was all. How could I verify that?
Yeah, we'll go back to that stream that Nephilim did, the after show on dinosaurs and man. Uh, that was a wild conversation that we was having on there. Like I was the first one to jump on the stream, I think, and then Corporate joined, and after that it was like we went off on this weird, or at least he did, and then
What we
Nephilim was like going off on him, like this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
It's been so long since I've seen Nephilim free. I don't know if maybe I lost his channel on my transition here from Iger Television to Iger TV, but I missed it. Dang it. Or maybe I was at work. I don't know. I haven't seen Nephilim free in a while, bro. He used to do like late night streams a couple years ago, but he hasn't been doing them lately. So I don't know if he
Yeah, he did one the other night.
make sure I'm still subscribed to him, bro. Was it late night? Like
Yeah,
this? Not this
after
late, bro.
his debate, he had a debate with, I can't remember that one guy's name, some idiot atheist trying to make themselves sound smart, you know.
Yeah, I'm not subscribed to Nephilim Free, bro. I'm subscribing right now, so I lost them on my when I got deleted just now.
He was talking about this guy, this atheist. He was talking about how, you know, you'd have like a Nobel Prize, you know, if you were able to just disprove creation, you'd have a Nobel Prize, you know, it'd be like earthquaking in the scientific community. They'd all be like, wow, you found the evidence. But then later on in the debate, he's like hammering him on this point where uh, all the scientists have already carefully looked at all the creationist claims and they've rejected them all out of hand. So it's like, if you're going to win a Nobel Prize for proving creation and disproving evolution, but at the same time, uh, whenever you bring up evidence for creation, all the scientists have already been through it and it's already been carefully examined and rejected. Well, then how are you going to get a Nobel Prize? That seems like a total contradiction, you know? That's
Yeah,
self defeating.
sadly, if you have some good proof to contradict anything that the mainstream narrative says, they're just gonna silence you, mock you, ridicule you, and that's just the reality of the world we live in, bro.
Yeah.
You know, there's this the guy that made the car run on H on water, and it's not just him. There's multiple people that have done it, but they don't get any. You don't get. They just bury your work, bro. They don't. Same. I don't know, bro. Maybe I'm bitter because I just got deleted, but yeah, man, they just delete you. You know, back in the days they used to burn books. Nowadays they burn videos and channels, and those who burn books today are going to be burning bodies tomorrow, and that's just the sad world we live in. Where it's
Yeah.
controlled by this big multi-organizational, elitist corporation banking cartel, uh, and yeah, they don't want you to know anything that's actual truth. They want to keep you in their box and following whatever the lies that they're pushing. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Pretty vague.
Wish we could get Peter or Bubblegum up in this.
Hey, yeah, but hey, click the link, Bubblegum or Peter, man. It'll be fun to talk to you guys.
They like to hang out in the chat section. They're probably like, I
I've
don't know
seen
what about.
Bubblegum jump on streams, bro, but I got a feeling because randomly FFT, I don't know, maybe he had a set up already, but you know, it's like it's almost like we share all the same it's like a little community, you know what I mean? Like we all kind of know FFT and Praise That I Am, and you know it's kind of like the same people in the streams a lot.
Yeah, I'm liking Donnie more and more because like the stuff that he's doing with the soteriology open mic and like he's making it very clear to everybody, just inviting everybody and like refuting them with their workspace or sinless perfection stuff. And then now he's talking about, you know, how reprobates, like he discussed that in the last one. He's talking about how reprobates, you know, there are certain people that are past the point of salvation. He sent me like a clip on Stephen Anderson preaching. It's pretty good, like 8-minute clip of the sermon. Uh, like I'm liking the direction he's going. Also, like the King James only controversy because he prefers KJV. You know, there's other people like within his community or whatever that like they like the other versions, but himself is KJV. I don't know what KJV preferred means because to me it's just like KJV only, you know, nothing else whatsoever. But unless you want to point out all the mistakes in it, you know, and expose it for what it is, which is a fraud and a lie, a perversion of God's word. Other than that, I don't want anything to do with the other translations. I think Donnie is on the right track. He's a really good guy. He's doing some awesome work. Hopefully, his channel doesn't get striked for some stupid reason. Like he says something against the Who or Hovind, he's always saying something crazy, you know, during those debates, which I don't know how they haven't caught on to that yet.
Well, it's not like the main focus. I think like his main focus is kind of like it seems lately is soteriology. You know, the once saved always saves versus works. Before that, he used to do a lot of. When I first found him, he was doing a lot of great stuff on creation versus evolution, and that's kind of how I came across his channel. Because I only been a young Earth creationist for 4 years, and my first exposure was Ken Hobbin and then Kent Ham, and then then I ran into like other little channels like Standing for Truth at the time. He didn't have that many subs, and uh, but yeah, I enjoyed his work with Raw Matt and Nephilim Free at the time. So they have some they have done some great work. Standing for Truth, Raw Matt, who became the Young Earth Creation YouTube channel, and Standing for Truth. Yeah, they're good. They were good Young Earth creation presenters. I feel like with this soteriology stuff, it's almost like a never-ending rabbit hole because they'll say, what about here where it says Revelation, I think 20 verse 19 talks about that he's gonna the dead rise out of the sea and then he judges them by their works. What about that? And then you, oh well, they were never saved. I don't know, man. It gets so it's so much arbitration you could do for this once saved always saved versus works, and it's I feel like there's is some type of middle ground somewhere, and that's why there's a judgment day. If it was like so black and white, there wouldn't be a judgment day where God's gonna examine all your thoughts and look into your heart, and you know there wouldn't be a need for that if it was just so black and white. This is it's past my my pay grade for now.
Yeah. All right. So last thing Bubblegum said was that guy's crazy. Y'all go check out Nephilim Free's channel, for real. That guy's man. That guy was just cracking me up. I don't know why, but it's funny. Maybe it's that like whistle that he has in his voice.
Yeah, man. I like Nephilim Free. I haven't been watching him for a while. It's probably been a year since I've seen him live. So I don't know. I gotta catch up with him and see where his head's at. Last time I joined one of his streams, bro, he was actually pretty open to the whole geocentric, heliocentric thing. He didn't like shut me down or kick me out or anything, you know. And so I kind of appreciated that about him. Just like you, bro. Like I'll go on some of these streams and they'll just start straight up ridiculing you or whatever. And but you've been very cordial every time I've spoken to you. You know, call me crazy or whatever. You kind of like, well, I think
Yeah,
even your dad believes it's geocentric. So yeah, you
he's
probably
crazy, man. I'll tell him that to his face.
huh?
But then he tells me that I'm crazy. So it's a mutual, like hateful respect.
But I think that's part of the whole divide and conquer strategy, right? Like you were saying earlier, or we were saying earlier how people are so divided on just like almost any topic nowadays. It's so crazy, bro. I don't think the world's ever been like that. Like you can literally debate anything nowadays, like anything, bro. And
Yeah, I don't like it when people just choose to like, you know, broadcast like a whole debate on something dumb. I mean, because there's some pretty dumb ones. Like you could check out Modern Day Debate, and they just have like some stupid topics. Let's just say it. But I'm not supposed to diss Modern Day Debate. I think they want me on there Tuesday, but I told them Sunday or Monday
all right,
on
good.
dinosaurs and man.
Bro, did you I don't even have a way to share this. Well, actually, yeah, I do. I gotta show you. I gotta show you this video, bro. I don't know if you saw it. It was my last upload on my channel before I got deleted last week. But it's like a 20-minute video, bro. If you're gonna do a debate on that, you should watch it, bro. It's just funny and it's so out there in the mainstream media now. So I'm gonna
What is
find it.
it? What is it on?
It was called the dinosaur hoax, but it's just funny how it's everywhere. It was like a clips from Jimmy Kimmel. He takes this guy that's I think he's a football player to a museum like the Smithsonian Museum or some type of big museum, and he's like, "You think these are fake?" And he's like, "I think we did watch it. Hold on, I think we might have watched it together at one point. Let me see if I
Yeah, I've seen that. You've shown me some of those videos. At least one of them. Uh,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not.
I did show it to you. But all right, bro. All right, I must skip that. But good luck. What's your position on that, bro? Because I
On
do enjoy the way you do clips, bro. I always like doing videos on my presentations, but I actually enjoy the way you. It seems like you got so many clips saved for so many different topics, and I think that's pretty clever too.
what you said my position? I don't even know what you're talking about.
The dinosaur stuff.
Oh, well, obviously, I think the dinosaurs are not a hoax. They all came off of the ark and went extinct, or some
All
of
of them.
them weren't even able to grow to full stature, and so they do not look like dinosaurs, although they may be alive today as lizards. Could be some huge dinosaurs still alive, like in the Congo swamp or over in Kenya, Africa. Other than that, they're probably all extinct. They went extinct sometime after the flood, hunted or by natural disasters. They could have been starved to death. End up in these dry areas. Like in the Peruvian desert. There's good evidence that they actually lived over there because they're carved on the ancient burial stones, and so the whole civilization was actually starved to death by the desert. Nothing could grow anymore. The tombs that they made for themselves, you could still, dig them out of those tombs. It's pretty crazy. It's like a cemetery that goes on for hundreds of miles, nothing but bones. It's a whole race of people, that just died because it used to be a tropical area and it completely desertified. But yeah, that's what I think happened to the dinosaurs.
You think all of them existed? Like every single dinosaur they show you? Well,
Yeah, anyone that they can construct faithfully from a you know paleontological work, where you just take the fragments of all of the bones. Often they'll be found, together, even though you still have to piece them together. They take them out and number them, and you can. It's relatively easy to tell, if there's an animal in the dirt, if it's been crumbled together like that in one piece, for it's separate sometimes, unless the graveyard is too clustered and full of bones. But I think even then, if you're skilled in anatomy, you can know which animals are separate from the other. You find four thigh bones, on an animal that only has two legs, for instance, you would know that uh, it's two separate animals. But I'm just not seeing a lot of evidence for, like, the T Rex, for instance, being a hoax. Like somebody like invented it. Uh, I think that'd be pretty hard conspiracy to cover up.
well, with the T Rex, bro. Sadly, bro, it's very conspiratorial. Like there used to be not one single full size skeleton of a T Rex being found up to like maybe 7 or 8 years ago. It might have been 10, but anyway, somewhere around there, about 10 years ago or so, some lady found. The story goes, always they're in a dinosaur hunt, team, and they go and they excavate, they're digging, they're looking for dinosaurs. They couldn't find anything, so finally they give up, and they're driving back, and they stop at a gas station on their way back, after this big defeat. And then they stop at a gas station. This lady goes behind the gas station and just starts to dig up, and bam, she comes across the first ever full skeleton of T Rex, and and the whole story is riddled with a bunch of controversy, bro. So yeah, man. As far as the T-Rex goes, but let me show you this clip real quick. It's kind of hilarious, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's like becoming so mainstream right now. It's crazy. If I could share my screen real quick.
Oh yeah, hold on. There it is.
I don't know if you've seen this before, but it's funny, bro.
I can see this.
I can see this talking to you too.
Does it remind you of any animal?
It looks like a dog or an anteater or something.
Yeah. It's actually the ancient ancestor of modern day cetaceans, or whales, dolphins, and porpoises.
That's a whale?
Come
That's
on,
a
man.
dolphin.
Come on, Jimmy.
It's not a whale.
Hell no. Well.
No, yeah, that was not. You have that wrong. You got to redo
Thing
this.
is, it's funny how mainstream this is becoming,
That?
bro.
No way.
Basically, they're two
Hold
kinds.
on, before I move on, there was another piece I wanted to show you from this interview. But I'm saying it's so mainstream, bro. It's crazy. Because they go into the museum and the guy's like, this is most of these are made out of clay, and he doesn't believe it. And so oh, okay. So they go to the Natural History Museum in Los Angeles County Dinosaur Hall. Can you hear me, by the way? I just plugged in some headphones. Okay, just check.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So the guy's like, yeah, most of these are clay, and let's see here. Pick up right here.
For dinosaurs.
You've never done it for dinosaurs.
I
Have
have. Yes, I have.
Where?
Utah.
If Daniel has pictures, you believe?
Absolutely not.
I'm not saying there's not petrified bones, right? Like obviously there's petrified bones, but I'm saying they could have been of some giant animal that's still alive today. Like you're saying, the lizards could have been bigger, the birds could have been bigger, humans, mammals, everything used to be bigger before the flood. So they find like these big bones. It doesn't make sense in their worldview that there could be a giant lion or a giant eagle or a giant man. It doesn't make sense in the evolution paradigm where everything's getting bigger and stronger. This is the one I wanted to show you, the T-Rex, actually, because we're talking about it. So hold on, I'm going to play this little clip. But the whole point is this could have been a big bird, and then they just reconstruct most of it from clay. None of these bones in the museums are actually real bones. They're all in the vault. The actual petrified bones will weigh so much that it will crumble the floor because it will be pure stone. So even the ones like this are probably all fake. Yeah, I'll just slow down.
And it is one of the most complete T-Rex skulls ever found.
So those the real teeth from T-Rex?
Yeah, the lower jaw is pretty complete. If you take a look in between the cracks, we put in things like clay and glue to hold it together.
So you're saying this is a lot of this is clay?
Not a lot. Well, the
A lot.
Yeah, a lot of it's
side.
clay.
A lot of
Definitely tell.
It's funny, bro. And then the video keeps going, bro.
Is prepared. Then the curators
Where they're
work
telling you
with
that
metal
none of
workers
these
called
are actual
mount
real
makers
bones because
in order to
they
devise
wouldn't be
the
able to
pose that
support
they
them
want the animal
on
to
a
be in.
floor. They wouldn't be able to
Lots of
hang them,
times
so
they'll make detailed drawings or
everything's
even
a
scaled
reproduction.
down models
I'm gonna
of
paste the link to
how
this
they
on the
want this
description.
animal
It's
to
20
look.
minutes
Then
long.
they blow those designs up into a full
You're
scale
gonna like it.
mount and have to construct an iron framework called an armature.
I really like dinosaurs. T-Rex, Stegosaurus, Triceratops. You know that feeling when you walk into a museum being in the same room as a dinosaur? It's just special. The actual bones of something that was alive roaming the earth millions of years ago. So you can imagine how shocked I was when I found out that some of those bones on display in museums weren't real.
What do you mean not real?
I mean, not real. The bones on display are replicas.
What, like even at like the Smithsonian?
Yeah, even at the Smithsonian. Now, but like you, I was confused, needed to find out a little more. So did a little journey, found out why they use replicas. I found out who makes these replicas. And, I really found out that it wasn't as bad as I thought.
I feel like I was lied to like my whole childhood.
Same. Totally the same. You know what? We'll get through this together.
When you see the Max display, you see a big, grand layout of a skeleton with bones mounted on that. Those are replicas of the original bones. We use replicas for a couple of different reasons in exhibits, and the biggest reason is that the fossils are irreplaceable and they're fragile. To mount a fossil skeleton either requires an extremely expensive and complex armature, or requires drilling holes into these irreplaceable bones. We really don't like to do that if we can avoid it.
The actual fossils are petrified, so they weigh like unbelievable amounts of pounds. In casts, you can make basically a shell. They don't even have to be filled in, or you can fill them in with another very light material. And then you have the same skeleton, for instance, at the American Museum of Natural History, in the entrance Roosevelt Hall, there's this huge Barosaurus rising up on its hind legs. That skeleton weighs 800 pounds. If you had the actual fossil, you would be looking at something 5-10 tons and on this little spot, way beyond any conceivable floor loading. There's a preference now for casts because you can do really lively things. You can have a T-Rex standing on one leg and using the other leg to stomp or the Triceratops and so on, which you could have never done with the actual fossil bones.
I think that.
All right, bro. All right. I'm gonna let you watch the video. It's 20 minutes long if you want to watch it. Whenever you come around. Whenever you have time.
I don't think it's going to compromise the reality that there's complete fossils just because you can't actually take the bones because of how much they weigh and set it up on something. I don't even know if that's logical to say that we couldn't build a structure to hold the full weight of a dinosaur. That doesn't make sense.
We can't. According to them, even according to the people working in the museum, it's not functional. It will collapse the floor. They'll be so heavy. They're made out of pure stone. That's
then that just means that it's not practical.
It's not practical. But so they got to keep
so
locked up.
That's kind of like the video footage of the moon landing. It's not practical to use the original footage because it doesn't even exist. There's no way to access it, like to even play the video. So that doesn't mean that you should.
They lost it, bro.
It's not about losing. It's about the available technology at the time.
Yeah. Well. Oh, you still think the moon landings are real, Chris?
Yeah. I'll send you a clip of you could actually go to maybe
spend more time with your dad, bro. Y'all gotta go fishing or something.
Why don't you go to you should pull something.
Atheists, bro.
No, you should pull something up, and then if you're not convinced by this, then we'll leave it. Again, we'll agree to disagree. Go to allthepreaching.com.
We can have a moon landing debate, bro.
Yeah.
I would love to have a moon landing debate.
Go to allthepreaching.com. I want to show you a clip that's on there.
Oh, because Sam Anderson, bro. All right.
That's not true.
All the preaching.
He says, if you believe the moon landing, then you believe in the Big Bang. Well, I don't believe in the Big Bang. That doesn't even make logical sense. You can believe one and not the other. You don't have to believe everything the mainstream tells you, but things that you can actually study, test, and observe for yourself.
This
That's
is
a little
about to
different.
turn into a flat earth debate. And I'm about to
It definitely is. So go to videos.
10-minute flat earth debate. Dang, it's late, bro. It's almost 4 a.m. Tomorrow, bro, are we doing a stream tomorrow?
Yeah, then go to where is it? creation videos. And then there's one which I can't even see that tiny screen really. It's
What's
called
the title?
Why the Moon Landing is Real or something along those lines. There's a moon landing video in that list. You can find it.
Oh my gosh, bro. Good luck with that.
No, not you're going too far now. You got to go back up to the creation videos.
Is it at the top? Oh, wait. I see what's going on. I don't know what's up with my laptop. It doesn't want me to find it.
You could just click creation videos again. It'll bring you right back to it.
All right, let's do that. All right. You see it? The Big Bang Theory.
Just look for moon
Matters.
landing. And you should be able to find it in there. The list is pretty large, but that's not the whole thing. You stroll down a tiny bit and it continues.
Just oh, there we go. The Big Bang. It's like they're in
And
alphabetical order almost. Matt Powell, Evolution, Matt Powell.
yep, keep going down.
It went to monkeys. Saying, do you remember the title? Neil deGrasse Tyson on God.
Keep going down.
I don't see it.
It's a pretty large list.
Yeah.
There we go.
You see it?
Why?
Oh, it's why. Okay.
I'm thinking it, but maybe not. I guess that's not in there.
Well, are we doing the stream tomorrow, bro? Or
Yeah, keep going down.
So we can do our stream on the moon landing, bro. It'll be a fun debate. Why I'm on YouTube, why Noah's flood, why we know the Big Bang Theory is not true, turning it back theory, and we know the flood of Noah. No, it's not under the whys, bro. I haven't seen it under the M, so I don't know what I'm looking for, bro. But if we're doing a stream on the moon landing tomorrow, man, there's so much I could pull up on the moon landing being fake.
No, we got to do eschatology tomorrow.
It's all right. We could do eschatology for a little bit because I do like talking about eschatology, bro. Like, who will be the Antichrist? Top candidate for this week out of our list of 10 or 11. I forget how many we had on the list. But those are fun, bro.
We're going to talk about the wrath of God tomorrow. 7 trumpets and 7 vials.
All right, good. I don't see it, bro.
It's on there.
Okay. But you think it's under Y? It's in alphabetical
Yeah, because there's
order.
more Y videos. It's just I don't know.
Might be under other videos or something. Or are you sure it's under creation videos?
Yeah, it's definitely in the creation videos.
I don't know. How? Maybe under how? What are numerous mega sequences? I don't know.
Try it. Yeah, keep going up. Because it could be under how. So, well, now it's kind of going to the G's.
Yeah. It's not under the house. It's not under the Y. I don't see it, my brother.
Yeah, just scroll up till you get to the end again. I'm gonna just zoom through these and see if I can spot it. Oh, there we go.
Oh, it's
There's
under interviews now.
beginning. Oh, that's not good. You went too far down.
Podcast.
Yeah, now you're back at the creation videos.
It's a lot of videos, bro.
Well, there's that for anybody that's watching. It's a good list of creation videos that they have on there. But for some reason, I'm not seeing the moon landing video on there, and that would really be helpful to find that.
You ever seen Astronauts Gone Wild, where the one guy goes around asking all the astronauts to swear that they landed on the moon, and almost none of them did. They ran away. The one punched them on the face. Buzz Aldrin punches them on the face. That's a good documentary, bro.
Yeah. Oh, go back up. Go back up. I think I've seen it. Keep going up. There we go. The moon landing really happened. It's up there in the top right.
Top right.
Many Christians and many non-Christians are enthused by space travel.
Hold on. When I clicked it opened up a new tab, so I gotta copy paste that link.
I just had a quick question about, many Christians and many non-Christians are enthused by space travel, planet expansion, things like that. And you see the rise of things like NASA and SpaceX and all goals of getting to Mars and whatnot. And I have the thought, how does that fit into the tribulation and what we'd see biblically, if that's even a possibility within our lifetime?
You want to start with that one, or
I don't really have.
I don't really have a clear. Okay, well let me give you my answer first of all. I would say I think it's compatible with the Bible. I don't think there's anything in the Bible that would say that we couldn't go to the moon or Mars or anything. I personally believe that we did go to the moon. By the way, Paul Wittenberger agrees with me. And Paul Wittenberger is an expert photographer. He's we've seen his films. He's an expert in writing, video, photo, and he has studied these things and is very professional. And he has collected film negatives. You want to talk about you have thousands of them that most of them the public has never seen. Why would they fake thousands of photos that the public's never seen? And you've examined them and you said that they're real.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of contradictory evidence. I mean, they show like the pictures, not seeing the stars or everything, but they don't understand how photography is. If you're exposing for the stars, you're that's all you're gonna take a photo of, or or you can expose for the moon, and then you won't see the stars. There's a lot of things that are just circumstantial evidence, like why didn't we go back and stuff like that. But because Paul, if I take my cell phone outside on a really starry night and just snap a picture of the sky, I'm not going to see any stars, am I? Yeah, exactly.
I could have your face with a black sky behind you, no stars.
And NASA actually released the digital archives of every single moon landing and every photo taken, and they're listed in the order. If you go to nasa.gov, you can see it. And the quality of the photos is so high that you can zoom on into every speck. And so they might have faked some of the footage, but I do believe they did land.
Well, there you have it, folks. And Paul believes in a lot of conspiracies. All right, so he went into it skeptical, and yet he,
I wanted to make a movie proving that it was a hoax.
Exactly. So here's the thing, folks. We have to be honest with evidence. So here's Paul going into something with one idea, but when the evidence showed the other way, you know what? He went with the evidence. Okay, he's not just going to stubbornly just hang on to a wrong view. He's looked at thousands of pictures.
They haven't actually shown any proof here. Sam Anderson's just giving his opinion, and I'll finish the video. But Matt Powell, man, Like, man, I've talked to him not talked to him, but just on the comments before. And he knows about the flat earth real good, bro, because he's made videos on this one preacher I like that's a flat earther. His name is The Pillars of Truth is the name of the YouTube channel. His name is Tyler Doka. So they were beefing for a little bit because of the whole soteriology stuff. That was like 2 years ago, bro. So I was like, yo, why you mad at this guy? And then he told me about the I didn't even know about soteriology in those days. Honestly, I had never even thought about it. And,
Well, Peter says they might have faked them, but I believe. But that's not what Paul's saying. He's saying that he looked at the evidence himself. You know, he just went on the NASA website and looked at the evidence. He's trained to, you know, see if a photo is legitimate or not. And there's no reason, according to what he's seen with his own eyes, to refuse the evidence that we went to the moon.
Yeah, but they don't show anything.
Okay, but he's saying that you can go to the NASA website. So at that point, it becomes a question of whether or not you trust the photos that are on that website itself.
The NASA, my gosh, bro. I dare you to try to go on the NASA website and try to find photos of the moon, bro. It'll take you forever. I did it myself, honestly. I tried to look at the NASA landings, and it's very hard to find that.
Well, let's hear what else I have to say.
We need to have a moon landing debate, bro. It's coming. Oh, I feel it coming, bro. It's gonna be on our minds because I feel like that's like the easiest thing to disprove personally, and I'm sure Peter agrees with me because we're both reached the same conclusion. But yeah, let's finish this video.
Knows how photography works, and especially a lot of these pictures. He has even bought like rare film negatives and stuff of pictures that hadn't seen the light of day. And why would they just fake all these thousands of pictures that nobody even looks at? Because they're the famous pictures, but then there are just tons of other obscure pictures. And he's looking at them as an expert in lighting, and he can explain the discrepancies. So anyway, what do you think about that?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, obviously they're going to fake some things. NASA will obviously, people will Photoshop stuff of
and
NASA.
Maybe fake's not even the right word. Maybe it's just they're just polishing the apple. I mean, anytime when you made your documentaries, Matt, did you ever fake anything, quote unquote?
No. Well, I mean, you could. I mean,
like you didn't fake things like where we're just like, okay, walk back and forth, and we're like pretending to be walking and hanging out, and we're not really walking, and hanging out. We're just walking back and forth for an hour.
Yeah.
Filming ourselves walking back and forth for an hour.
Yep.
Isn't that kind of like we faked something in a sense? Do you see what I mean?
That. Right.
Or like I remember one time there was this video about me memorizing the Bible, and this TV crew came out and was filming me, and I sat in my car behind the wheel like I was driving, and one guy shook the car and another guy like moved branches in front of a light to make it look like I was driving and I wasn't even driving.
Right.
Anytime anybody has ever filmed me for any reason, they do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a little theatrics and stuff, but I personally believe that we did go to the moon, and we're probably going to go back, and we might even go to Mars and everything. I don't think that there's any biblical issue there. So, I mean, what would be the biblical issue? I guess that we can escape the tribulation by going to the moon or Mars. The moon, being on the moon or being on Mars would be like its own kind of tribulation. Right. You're like doing that to yourself.
Yeah.
People can't even handle being quarantined for a couple weeks. You think they want to be in a space capsule for years on the way to Mars? They're going to lose their minds.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, that was it. That was the 5-minute video, bro. But I got to show you an astronaut's gone wild, bro. and to me, that's he's a genius.
That's why I believe that the moon landing is legit. It's just because any professional photographer can access these videos and see it themselves. We could do like a live stream where we actually search the photos, and I bet we could, achieve that. I could definitely do it if I want to take the time. But to me, the moon landing is not something that I'm willing to debate or fight over to like a great extent. I like to talk about it, but actually like getting in a debate over it, I think that it's like at least counterproductive to what I want to try to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel you, bro.
It's like I was saying, like that's something that would be interesting, like to debate on modern day debate or like the Bigfoot debate. Like I like those kind of things. I don't know if I'd ever participate in one, but I'm glad there's people that do, because it allows you to think critically about everything, you know.
Man, I can't find it. Hold on. So weird.
What are you looking for?
Astronauts Gone Wild. If you could. Oh, here it is. So this guy, back in 2004, literally goes around. All these astronauts are still alive, and he
really like it?
he asks
You're
to
the one who
put their hand on
said
the
you walked on
Bible
the
and
moon when
swear
you
to God
didn't.
they went to the moon.
Calling the kettle black if ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself. Away from me. You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
But this is the most famous clip just because Buzz Aldrin actually punches him in the face. But there's a couple more.
You want me to knock you in the head?
Well, I want you to swear to God on the Bible that you walked on the moon. If you walked on the moon, we're given the opportunity to swear to God that you walked on the moon.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to get the hell knocked out of you if you don't leave me alone.
So why don't you just put the end to the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Cybro, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
Well, you're talking to the wrong guy. Why don't you talk to the administrator in NASA? We're passengers. We're guys going on a flight.
I don't hit people, but you're going to be on the deck unless you get
I appreciate it.
Get the hell out of my house.
Well, take your stuff and get the fuck out.
Why don't you quote me and say it's bullshit? The shadows in the wrong place. I don't give a damn about all that shit.
You're full of shit. Of lunar orbit being falsified.
Being falsified?
Correct. We got an unedited tape from a source at the Johnson Space Center.
Totally nonsense. Mr. Cybro, you do not deserve answers.
If you show this publicly, you're open for a lawsuit. Okay?
It's like little clips, bro. Just him going around asking people to put their hand on the Bible that they went to.
I mean, do you have Neil Armstrong?
They don't do it
already.
No.
There's like one that does it, and his
Well,
armpits
I
are
know.
so sweaty.
Why does he not give interviews?
Well, because that's his personal choice. And I guess it's mine in a way to do things when they've been researched and worked out as far as a business arrangement. This is not news. This is not an anniversary.
Well, actually, it is. We found a very unique reel of footage that we have queued up to show you.
Yeah.
And it's from the mission. And to our knowledge, no one has ever seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 30 years old.
And you want me to see this while you have me on camera?
Well, and to tell us what it is. I mean, it's...
Well, I don't know why I should do that.
It's a very unique footage.
It may be that I need to see it, and then we sit down and we talk about what you're taking a picture of. I don't see where there's an advantage in it for me to do what you're asking me to do. I see all sorts of pitfalls. I see people who have managed to talk to somebody. Who did you talk to in our office?
I talked with Heather at Tor Books.
Yeah, but is this helping book promotion? Are you going to be putting anything out during the time that I'm marketing books? So Heather does not represent me for the things you're talking about. She represents a book selling activity.
I think when you see the footage, you'll see that it's
Wow.
very extraordinary, one of a kind,
Okay.
behind the scenes type of footage.
Yeah. Well, if it is, why do you have access to something that no one else has seen before?
Serendipity, I guess. And it was recorded on the 18th of July, 1969. Do you remember this?
On the 18th?
Call Apollo 11, Houston, Goldstone says that the TV looks great, over. Okay, Roger, Neil, we just wanted a narrative such a weekend when we get the playback, we can sort of correlate what we're seeing. And thank you very much. Well, we shut out the sun coming in some of the other windows into the spacecraft, so it's looking through the number one window under it, any reflected light. We only have one window that has a view of the Earth, and it's filled up with the TV camera. South America becomes invisible just off beyond the Terminator or inside the shadow.
You can't see no South America from there.
We can see the oceans with a definite blue cast. See white bands of major cloud formations across the Earth. Roger, the ATC's working real well. The F-22 looks good, over. So Apollo 11, Houston, did you copy, over? You copied that, Charlie. Roger, your transmissions the last couple of times have been about 2 by, over. Okay, how do you read me now? Right, you're 5 by now.
But they messed that all up, bro. It was all edited crap footage from 50 years ago. We can't go back to date because they lost the technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again. It's so much
now we
nonsense.
coming in. Can't quite make out who that had.
All right, Chris.
What is your proposition that we didn't go to the moon?
I know for a fact that you did. I know for a fact that you did not.
You know for a fact that we did not.
That's correct. And you'll see this tape proves that.
Okay, well, I'm not interested in satisfying your suppositions when there's all this evidence that we did.
This proves, as you see, that you were using the window to demonstrate that you were halfway to the moon when you were
Turn the camera off, please. Turn the camera off.
Shows that you're in Earth orbit. Now, if the moon is 3 days away, and this is late on the 18th, how could you possibly walk on the moon 2 days later when this was shot on the 18th?
Do you want me to sit in front of a camera while you're taking pictures, you're showing this, and then you want to see my reaction?
I know for a fact that you
That's
did.
slimy journalism. Do you realize that?
If
You ought to be ashamed of
you read the
yourself.
document that I have in here, you'll find that it's not. But this is a personal plea to do what is right.
Well, we sit and we talk about things ahead of
This is the
time.
document that you want to see. I know for a fact.
But
that
what
it's
it is you're trying to do is unethical. You don't believe that?
No, I do not.
Well, then we have a difference of opinion.
This is where you're using the window of the spacecraft to appear to be the Earth far away. We have the raw footage of it. We have an auxiliary track, someone prompting you when to speak.
You believe in UFOs? You
No, I do
believe
not.
we've been visited by, well, why do
No, I
you want
don't.
to believe this?
I know for a fact we've had this analyzed, and this This is the window, and you're in, and it's dated by an atomic clock at the Goldstone tracking station, which is on the tape.
Well, you're talking to the wrong guy. Why don't you talk to the administrator in NASA? We're passengers. We're guys going on a flight. We're not.
I know for a fact that it didn't happen. And this tape would prove it in a court of law. It would.
Why don't you put your money into a court of law and see how people laugh at you? You want it?
No one is laughing.
The camera working?
No one is laughing.
And this makes you the real famous person that has discovered this and reveals all this stuff. What an ego you must have to want to propel yourself like this.
That's not why I'm doing it. And God knows that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for the truth to come out because I think it was wrong.
You can also notice how the astronaut.
But you're doing it the wrong way. You don't mislead somebody like me to come in here.
If you didn't go to the moon, that's misleading people. I'm showing you
Okay,
this tape.
we went to the moon. We're not misleading anybody.
Then how is it possible that this is the window? It's shot to make it look like.
Look, you can manufacture all you want with
This
these
is
things.
straight. This isn't manufactured.
Sure.
You know that it isn't.
That of an interior of the astronauts at work.
I believe this would prove it in a court of law that you did not go to the moon. It's dated on the 18th. It proves when you remove the
You give me your business card.
It's all in there.
I'm trying to wait for this to end, bro. I gotta go inside here in a minute. But I can just mute it.
This proves that it's the window. You can see them removing the crescent insert that you did.
Hey, you still around, Chris?
Yeah.
All right, bro. All right. Well, I put the link to the video on the private chat. It's like an hour long, bro. He goes around asking all the Apollo astronauts that were still alive at the time to swear to God that they went to the moon. None of them would. A couple, like 2 out of the 15, 20 that were still alive did. And they were so sweaty, bro. Their armpits were like, I mean, you could see the sweat on their armpits, bro. It was it's a hilarious documentary if you want to check it out. But this is a gateway to geocentricity, bro. Where these if they're lying to us about the moon landings, what else are they lying to us about? And they're lying to us about all the space. I don't want to ignore Peter Lee Jum in the chat. He because he comes here, hangs out with us. And he's on my side in this scenario. Because when I don't agree with Peter Lee Young on everything either. You know, we have our disagreements, but obviously we see there's something going on here that just doesn't sit quite well. So we have a lot of agreements on everything, on some things, and we disagree on some other things. But yeah, man. He says Google the Challenger astronauts, and if you Google the Challenger astronauts still alive, click images, you're gonna see there's a lot of images of some people that only changed their first name to their middle names, and in like 2 instances they didn't even change their name at all. And there's people with the same name that look just like the people that supposedly died still alive today. So I'll do that real quick before I leave. But yeah, I gotta head in, man. It's late for me, but I will see you tomorrow, bro. 1:30 my time, 12:30 your time. It's good.
Yep.
We can go over the Wrath of God for a little bit, and then if Peter's gonna be here, I'm sure we'll probably talk about this some more. The moon landings are. I'm kind of excited to do a moon landing debate with you, even though you don't want to.
No, because I won't do like a full moon landing debate. Like I will not do this for an hour because I feel like that one guy who's being like cornered, and it's like what his point. And like what they're not seeing, what he's not seeing, the guy that's pressuring him and recording him unlawfully because he's already said that he doesn't want to be recorded. It's like, oh, well, we have this library of evidence against you. And then the other person's like, well, I have a whole library myself. I'm going to go digging out. And then we can both sit here for 5 hours, talking about all of this different evidence that we both have. And you want to do that with certain things, but not with like a moon landing, because what is the point?
Well, Well, it's big, bro. Because if we are at the center of the universe and we're the footstool of God's creation, then it puts us in a different place than whatever spinning ball heliocentric model they want to put us in, where we're insignificant, a little speck of nothing in the ocean of nothingness, and we come from amoeba, and it all ties together. So that's the bigger picture, and that's why it
Well, then
matters.
that would make
Just like
sense to
evolution
do like
matters,
we could do like
just like creation
a
matters.
scripture
It
debate.
matters. It's just not as big as a focus as salvation, right? But it still matters, bro. All truth matters. If you're being lied to, then you have the right to know. So all truth matters, but it's not as big as a salvation type of issue. But it's only because it takes a lie to build up on another lie. So like all these lies they've been feeding us throughout the years and centuries and millennia, uh, the New Age deception where they want you worshiping Ra or some pyramid or whatever fallen angel entity, and that's why it matters, bro. Because if you don't teach the truth to your kids, then who will?
Yeah.
Who's gonna tell them the truth, bro?
We could debate it like scripturally if you wanted to like go over the different scriptures for a heliocentric model as compared to a geocentric. There's definitely evidence that the earth is a globe, but then there's also some evidence but I don't for like a flat earth. I think that that could be profitable.
Oh,
And we
okay,
could
whatever,
spend as
whatever
much
you want,
time
bro.
as could even be possible just proving, the one from the
Man,
Bible.
but I will say, like, the moon landing is kind of like the key because it's so easy to disprove nowadays. Because now we have the
No, it's
technology
not
to
easy to
rewind the tape.
disprove.
Oh yeah, bro. You can rewind the tapes that they shown, and then you could pause
Listen to
them.
what you're
And
saying, though, Iger. Do you know how long it would take you to convince me that the moon landing was not real? It would take you. I'd probably have to go to school for years and years to be taught to believe something like that.
it takes most people like an hour, bro. Watch the documentary.
You're saying if I watch the documentary, I'm going to come away convinced that the Earth or that the moon
He
landing was real.
he
Your
literally
mind.
goes around asking all the astronauts that landed on the moon to put their hand on the Bible and swear to God they went to the moon. And if you watch the reactions, it's pretty convincing, bro. And then there's also other stuff that you can watch. But oh man, I can't believe we disagree on this.
It's
But it's all
ridiculous.
right,
That's
bro.
what I think it is, and it's absurd, and it doesn't even matter at all because from the Bible you could prove that the Earth is a globe, and the flat. As far as us going to the moon, that's not in the Bible at all. So it's not even a.
Oh,
It doesn't even make any sense.
Peter Young might join tomorrow, bro. He said he's gonna have some scripture ready for tomorrow. I like it, Peter. Come on down, bro.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll wait for you then. We'll do the
Hey,
scripture
check this out,
battle
bro.
over the flat
I
Earth
actually
tomorrow.
did a debate with CJ about a. Do I don't know if I saved it though, but I did a debate with CJ about a year and a half ago, and it was all scripture. But I don't know if I saved any on my scriptures. And then I gotta work tomorrow. Well, I don't have to work tomorrow, but I'm gonna go see one of my kids tomorrow, so I won't have time to do
I'll
that
see if
much research.
CJ, if that's on the synagogue channel. I'll try to look that up. But
We
Peter
did it on
said,
the Praise That I Am channel.
yeah.
Let me check it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Peter, if you can prove that from the Bible, I will believe it. So,
We gotta have a
do your
seat.
diligence.
We gotta have a Peter versus Christopher debate on the scripture. I'm sure I could come up with some scripture, bro. I mean, right off the top of my
City's
head,
in the chat, but he can't join, so I don't see him in here.
no, because He's probably working. Oh, tomorrow he's talking about. He probably has to work, so he can't join, but he can listen in and type in the chat.
Okay.
So, but I gotta head out, bro. Thanks for letting me on, man. I'll see you tomorrow, brother, and we'll talk about the wrath of God, and then we'll see where it takes us from there, right? Because we
then we're
agree
gonna
on
see
that.
if
We agree
Peter
on
can
a lot of
prove
the
that the
end time stuff. Go ahead, bro.
I was just saying, then we're going to see if Peter can prove that the earth is flat with the Bible. Because if that can be done, you got yourself a convert right here. Can't be done, though. We'll see. Hopefully he can come in and do that.
The whole thing with you right now is that you hold to the earth was here. The first page is really the best proof. That's why he wanted me to read Genesis, because the earth was already here on day 2. The trees were here on day 3, and then the sun, moon, and stars weren't here till day 4. So how do you reconcile that with ball earth spinning around the sun, spinning model? How is the earth already here if the sun's not here? What's the earth spinning around?
Well, the day after that the plants are created, you have the sun, which actually allows the plants to live. So it's going to orbit, a seasonal pattern. Before that point, you have God, who actually replaces the sun and the moon. He does their job, not the moon necessarily. Well, I guess at nighttime, yeah, he would. So there would be, just the light of the Lord, and he is an omnipresent, transcendent being. So for him to, be the light until he creates the sun and the moon is not like a theological problem that I can see of any major.
Problem, I don't see the light being the problem in your model. I can get that. But what was in today's model, the heliocentric model, the earth is moving around the sun. So you're saying God was just moving the earth around nothing? There's another Bible passage where it says the earth is still in Joshua, and how does that reconcile in the heliocentric model spinning around the sun? If the earth were to stay still, we all would have been stopped and flung around, flung off to space, basically, because the earth is going fast around the sun. It's going 66,666 miles per hour. Funny number, but yeah.
That would
it's a
create
lot.
a problem with gravity, definitely. But that's not what you first have to understand, is that's not a Bible passage that says that the earth is flat. And then second of all, God is transcending time itself,
right?
Because he's outside of time. So he's able to maneuver that. The laws of physics can still be the same, and God suspend them at the same time.
And there's the last one is Revelations, and Matthew talks about all the stars falling from heaven to earth, and if their suns billions of light years away, huge balls of burning gas. How do you reconcile that?
That's not talking about a giant ball of gas. It's creating nuclear fusion at its core. It's talking about a large meteorite or asteroid. It's broken into pieces and entered into the atmosphere.
But the Revelation verse talks about all the stars falling to earth, and then
no, it does not
reconcile that.
It doesn't say that.
All right,
That's
we'll
how I write
it tomorrow, bro. I gotta look it up because I know the Matthew one doesn't, but I'm pretty sure the Revelation one talks about all the stars fall from heaven to earth. Then the sky gets rolled up like a scroll, which is the dome, the firmament, the waters above.
When it comes to stuff like this, it's like, my dad sometimes says that there's a verse in the Bible where Jesus is said to have had long hair. I tell him it's not there, but he always seems to say that it is. But I've not yet seen the passage. He's still looking. He's still working on it.
You got it, bro.
About
I'll
that,
be more prepared for it tomorrow. I'm rusty, bro. I haven't debated. Huh?
Do you think Jesus had long hair or short hair?
I don't know, bro. I'm sure he had short hair and long hair at one point in his life. Who knows?
Well, see, there's a debate right there, and you could literally spend hours just trying to prove or disprove that.
Yeah, but it's not relevant to anything.
Yeah.
Well, I know they have like some type of cult or something where they think that you have to have long hair, and it's kind of like one of the laws or something. I don't know. I think it might be the Hebrew Israelites, or I'm not sure. Somebody thinks that you shouldn't cut your hair if you're a man, and then some people think you should. If you don't, then you're trying to act like a woman. I don't know, bro. For sure. That's one of those debates you can go around in circles for the rest of eternity. Just like the once saved, always saved versus the word. Like, bro, I've been watching Standing for Truth and Praise That I Am, and these people talk about it for 2 years already, ever since the pandemic started, and it seems like they just started talking about that. But it's all right. It's all right. I gotta go to bed, my friend. I'm tired.
Oh, are you getting out of here?
Yeah, man. I'm sleepy, bro. I don't know how you're still up, bro. You look sleepy too.
No, I'm all right. Well,
All right, bro. I'm gonna take off. You can keep it going or whatever it is you want to do. But
Yeah, I gotta
check out the
finish up.
documentary, bro. All right, go for it, man. I'm gonna take off, bro. And I'm sorry I derailed your teachings for tonight.
No, you're good.
Like I didn't mean to go that off topic. You started talking about dinosaurs, and then next thing you know, I don't know how the moon landings came up.
No, that's how my channel goes, man. I'm just going all over the place. This show
and I
is just
appreciate that. I left the Standing for Truth to come join you just because I was like, man,
dude, I'm going over there after I end this stream. I'm going right over there because I bet they'll still be going at it. They was like almost 4 hours last stream. Oh my god!
Here, if you want, I'll snipe them real quick. No, I gotta go to bed, bro. Just
on that first live stream.
God bless you, Peter. I'll see you tomorrow, Christopher, and God bless y'all. Jesus loves you. Have an amazing day. And if you don't tell your kids the truth, then who will? Bill Nye, Neil the Snake in the Grass Tyson. Somebody has to tell these kids the truth, bro. All right, God bless you, bro. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, God bless.
Peace.
Be Iger and Silvius tomorrow. Be episode part 2 of the rise and fall of the New World Order. It's a 5-part seminar, and so we're talking about the wrath of God. But yeah, that stream that SFT did, that first one, the soteriology stream, we had the open discussion on James 2. There was like some echo that created. I woke up and the stream was still going on, like I had fallen asleep, and then there was like some echo, and then some guy started rapping against CJ. It was totally weird. And anyways, we were in the end of chapter 14 where Saul is losing the battles now, so he's making these mistakes. He's losing the battles. He's going to have the kingdom taken away from him. Chapter 15, Saul saves the enemy king and the best of the cattle unlawfully. So they destroy, this nation. They beat them in battle, but they save the king alive, and they save the best of the goods. And this wasn't permitted, it was told to kill everything. That's what he was told from the Lord. This is, these people are rebelling and they're making war against us. And so we're going to destroy them and make an example so the other enemies will fear and we can have safety. So he doesn't listen, and he allows the people, without restraining them, to take the best of the goods. And so he's making more mistakes. Saul is rejected a second time, more directly as the king. He's told, you're not going to be king anymore. Somebody else is going to take your place. And then after Samuel the prophet tells him that, he actually goes back with Saul. Saul's like, I don't want this to be the last words that the people hear me and you. You know, I don't want to leave the people off on this note, because that would kind of like bring dishonor to me, basically, is what he's telling Samuel. And Samuel, after telling him he's been rejected by God to be king, actually goes back with Saul, you know, into the congregation, and they probably pray and stuff. But after that, he hews Agag, the king that they had saved alive, into pieces, makes an example of him. So Samuel goes hard, and this First Samuel, Second Samuel, the Kings, the Book of Judges. You know, these are gory books. The most goriest book in the Bible is, Revelation. So the New Testament certainly didn't soften up. And if you need some testosterone in your life, try, reading the Bible every once in a while, as a alpha male in society, because that will actually get you fired up, I think. And these are good biblical stories that you could even tell your children. It'll bless them, okay? And they'll learn something from it, because the Lord and everything that is written in the Bible is profitable for proof, for doctrine, for correction, for instruction. So, amen to that. And, that concludes chapter 15. So we'll do, when we continue with the First Samuel, we'll go 16 through 20, and then we'll talk about those in the open mic commentary after the audio reading of the chapters. Good night, Iger, Peter. We'll see you tomorrow. Hope you said the challenge accepted, so I will be expecting you in the stream that we're going to have tomorrow on eschatology. But after the eschatology section, we'll actually get into the flat earth, seeing if that is scriptural or non-scriptural. So pumped for that, and we will see you there. Thanks for tuning in, and God bless America, if it can still be blessed at all. I don't really know, but